Hey everyone, Selena here. Selena Baca Crochet. If you guys are watching live, come on over, say hey, say hello, tell me where you're viewing from. I'm here to talk about my latest book, Learn How to Crochet in 10 Easy Lessons, all the stitches and techniques you need to know, plus 28 patterns to make right away. This has been out for just a few months, so it's still practically brand new, and it's just something that I want to talk more about. So any questions you guys have about this book, any questions you have for me about yarn or crochet, go ahead and post them in the comments, and as long as I'm here live, I will get to them. But there's going to be an opportunity for you guys to win a signed copy, and I'm going to tell you guys more about that in just a minute. So for now, if you guys are watching live, come on over, say hey, say hello, tell me where you're viewing from. If you guys have seen this book before, if you guys have heard me talk about it, let me know. If this is the first time you're hearing about this book, let me know, all right? Because maybe you guys will have some questions I haven't thought of before, okay? So for this particular book, this is not my first book. I have published a few. You can see them over here on the wall. I'm going to post a link for you guys to view all of my books, so that way you guys can check those out if you want to. But this is my latest, and it's kind of funny that my Learn How to Crochet is my latest book in a series of books where I've written patterns on things you can make in a day, quick and easy projects, things to wear, complex garments and things like that. So it's kind of funny to me a little bit that I started with all these kind of big ideas and big projects, and I feel like it's kind of narrowed a little bit to this Learn How to Crochet book. I'm really glad that it happened that way. I'm really glad that my first book wasn't a Learn How to Crochet book, just because I feel that every year that I've crocheted, I've learned something more or different or new or better, just to kind of pass crochet through the generations in better hands than we found it. And this book in particular takes everything that I've learned after crocheting for 30 plus years, after teaching dozens and dozens and dozens of people over the past few decades. This is everything that I've learned. So this is a system that not only explains crochet in a no-nonsense way, it explains everything that you need to know and learn and do to not only have a gentle introduction to crochet, but to learn how to crochet really well. So to really fine tune and master your craft. So I want to tell you guys a little bit about it. I've got it up on my screen. I'm going to share some things. But again, I also have a giveaway. So the giveaway is essentially, I'm going to pick somebody from the comments to win one signed copy. So whether you would like a signed copy or you want me to send a signed copy to someone in the continental United States, I will do that. All you guys have to do for a chance to win is just leave a comment. So whether you're here live or on the replay, you have an equal opportunity to win. I'm going to randomly choose one of you guys from the comments. Ooh, that's bright. 24 hours after the this video airs. So after it's live, 24 hours from then. Okay, so everybody's got an equal opportunity to win. All right, let's see who's here and what you guys are saying so far. Hillary Thompson is the first comment that I see. Hillary, always so good to see you. Thanks for being here. Dawn Tennyson is here. Sophie is here. Jessica Elliott is here. Miss June is here. Hello. Dana is here. Still sitting in Portland, taking a load to LA tomorrow. Drive safe, my friend. Always so good to see you. Tammy Peters, my crochet BFF that I've never met in real life, is here. So good to see you, Tammy. Let's see. All right, already the questions are coming in. So Hillary, great question. I'm going to get to that in just a second. I love that. Monica is here and Becky is here. If you guys have a question about this book, about yarn, about crochet, about teaching crochet, go ahead and post it. That's what this is about. So what I wanted to say about this resource, but about resources in general, is that I have tons of crochet resources to help people learn how to crochet. I've got online classes, I've got workshops, I've got video tutorials, patterns, articles, and now I have this book. And the reason I did that is that everyone learns differently. Everyone needs a different kind of resource to learn. Some people need to see things. Some people need to see other people do things. Some people need to read. Myself, I have to see a finished example. I need to read technical instructions, and then I need to watch someone else do it. So no matter what kind of learner you are, hopefully there is a resource available that can help guide you to have a better introduction to crochet. I feel that so many of us who crochet, who have crocheted for a while, we had this kind of bumpy, abrupt start to crochet, to where it's like, here, learn a granny square, here, make a scarf of 200 chains or something like that. Just keep chaining until your arms fall off. I feel like we have this really abrupt, bumpy, like gritty start to crochet because that's how we were taught to crochet. That's how I was taught to crochet. And I feel that it's like, yeah, you may be doing some pretty intermediate things. You may be doing things in crochet that are pretty advanced. But we're not really teaching the basics in a meaningful way to help people feel like they can read and follow and execute patterns that they see in a meaningful way. So often the way that we teach crochet is very frustrating. We'll show some very advanced things and then we'll go, okay, now you can do anything. You made a granny square, you're good now. You can go make something. And it's kind of an unfair process. Because it can be really frustrating, and it isn't an easy way for most people to learn crochet. So a lot of this is just kind of weeding out the things that I'm sure everyone has done. I'm sure that so many people do. It's kind of weeding out all those things that just don't work for most people, and it just leaves the not only how to do something, but why we do it in a particular way. I think that's really important. I really like to share the technical side of crochet. We're going to do this for this reason. You're going to do this for this reason. Once you do this, you will learn that. So what I'm going to do again is I'm going to share some of those other resources. Right now, I just have this book linked. I didn't want to overwhelm you guys off the bat. Sometimes it's like, whoa, that's too much. I got to walk away now. That's too much information. So right now, I just have the link for this book for you to find it on not only Amazon, but also on Ravelry. And that way you guys can kind of check out some more information on this. But I'm also going to share all of those other resources that I talked to you guys about, just in case there's something else that may be helpful. So first and foremost, who is this for? This is a Learn How to Crochet book. And I know that a lot of people that I'm talking to, especially in the world of Selena Bacher Crochet, you guys are like, I've been crocheting. I know how to crochet. Who is this? Is this book just for beginners? It really, really is not just for beginners. So let me break that down just for you just a little bit. And we're also going to kind of walk through the book so I can show you guys what I mean. If you already know how to crochet, then you can use this book as a skill building book. I guarantee you're going to learn things. It doesn't matter if you've made 100 things and you've been crocheting for 50 years. You're going to learn something new or different to help better your knowledge and your crochet skill. I crocheted for 20 years, no joke, before I learned how to count my stitches. Not even kidding, even a little bit. Or did things like make an adjustable loop. Had no idea what an adjustable loop was. So I crocheted for 20 years before I learned essentials that now I use every single day. So it's just little things like that, like, does my chain count as a stitch or not? I'm working in a round, where do I join? Do I use stitch markers? Do I not? What does it mean to work in the round and then in rows? What does it mean to work in tubes? So many concepts that just I had no idea. So this outlines all those things in a very gentle, progressive way, and it gives you little things to try, not only in a very basic form. It outlines, what does it mean to work in a row? Let's try it. What does it mean to work in a joined round? Let's try it. What does it mean to work in a round that increases but isn't joined, so it's continuous? What does that look like? Let's try it, then let's make a project. So it breaks down all those concepts for you. If you want to learn how to crochet and you're like, my grandma tried to teach me, my sister tried to teach me, I think I learned in school, but I gave it up. I tried to watch YouTube, I bought a book. If you have ever tried to teach yourself, or if you've ever wanted to learn, but you felt like the resources that were available didn't speak to you, I think this will help. Not only is this a book that you can use as a manual and flip through as you need, there's video tutorials for all of the basic concepts in here. And that's a resource that you can use in conjunction with this to teach yourself. Maybe you're a person who you already know how to crochet and you're like, I'm going to teach other people how to crochet. I love that. I want to help people pass crochet through the generations in better hands than we found it. However, a lot of us, myself included, certainly for the first 20 years of my life, whenever I tried to teach someone how to crochet, I would give one person a great experience because they were like, you know, they just kind of got it. It was just in their bones. And then, you know, all the other 9 people I tried to teach were like, maybe this isn't for me. So if you want to spend your time passing crochet on in really meaningful ways, and you want resources that will help, this is going to be a fantastic resource that you can use to teach people how to crochet. So what you're going to do is you're going to first go through this, and it's going to give you a lot of the how, when, why, where, and what. And then you're going to be able to use this to pass on crochet. How do you hold your yarn? How do you hold your hook? How do you make a slip knot? What are the stitches that I need to learn? How do I make those stitches? How do I know that I'm making stitches? What is the anatomy of a stitch? What kind of hooks do I need? What kind of yarn do I need? It gives you all of that information and resources. And that way, if you're using this as a resource to teach others, it just helps to give you the knowledge, the skill, and the ability and the syllabus to pass it on in a really meaningful way. Okay, guys. So that's the gist of what I wanted to say. And now the floor is open for any questions at all. And I'm going to start with the first one that I saw in the group. Oh my gosh, not in the group. It was Becky. Becky asked a question. It was the very first one that I saw. Loved it so much. And I'm sure I have to go back and this really, sorry guys, I have so many screens open that it is not going to let me see it unless I do this. Nope. Becky, you had such a great question. And I was like, I'm going to find it. It's going to be right there. And now it's not right there. And that's very frustrating. It was such a beautiful question too. So again, guys, while I'm kind of fumbling through and trying to find this, you know, come on in, say hey, say hello, tell me where you're viewing from. Any questions you guys have about learning crochet, about this book, about yarn, anything like that, please let me know and I will get to it as soon as I see it. I just want to answer this first question first. Okay, here it is. Becky. Yay! Becky said, I love what you said in your bio, because there's a bio in this book. Expertise is a journey. Totally did. And I'll read that to you guys if you guys want me to. Becky says, does the instruction in the book end up giving enough projects to leave the learner at an intermediate level? It absolutely does. The way I like to teach, the way I like to think about crochet is I like to see what is universally accepted, universally acknowledged in the world of yarn and crochet. And what is universally acknowledged and accepted is that there's 4 levels of crochet skill. I don't really love or agree with how skimpy they are, but it's what our industry uses. And even though it's a little skimpy, again, you might read these 4 levels of crochet skill and go, what does that mean? So what I like to do is I like to break down those 4 levels into what they require to progress to the next level. So it starts out with level 1, then level 2, level 3, level 4. So I take the learning objectives in each one of those and I break them down into actionable steps. So for example, for level 1, what does it mean to be a beginner level crocheter? It means that you can check all these boxes. Can you do this? Check. Can you do that? Check. Can you do that? Check. Great. So whenever my teaching style is to take apart those skill levels, take apart actionable learning objectives in each one of those skill levels, and then I craft not only lessons to help you build your knowledge, but I also create very specific crochet projects to build those specific skills. So the way I teach crochet, I teach it with those learning objectives. So whatever resource you use for me to learn crochet, it's going to clearly identify and outline these are the different skill levels. So for example, this particular book does go through 10 different lessons. Oh, here, I have it right here, but I'll show you guys right over here. Okay, so the 10 lessons for this book are, yarn, tools, stitches, pattern reading, basic techniques, stitch patterns, and first projects. So up until that point, you're not really crocheting. You're crocheting at lesson 6, right? But it's giving you all of the knowledge and tools and all of that kind of stuff to get to the point to where you're like, okay, I'm going to start crocheting stuff. So you start out in rows, because you're learning those initial stitches, right? You're learning stitch anatomy, stitch counting, stitch recognition. And when by doing that, you are mastering that beginner level of crochet, you are going to be able to work in rows. And then you can move on from that. And then you're going to be able to work more complex things in rows. You're going to learn how to do things like, okay, let's work a simple stitch repeat. Let's work increases. Let's work decreases. Let's work something a little more complicated. Let's work an open stitch. Let's work something that needs to be sized. So you need to worry about gauge and things like that. And then let's work something that incorporates all of those. So in each one of these lessons, lesson 7, lesson 8, lesson 9, and lesson 10, there are specifically patterns in each one of those that are going to embody those lessons. So it's going to teach you exactly how to work in rows, but in a variety of different ways, all the while building very specific skills like, gauge is going to matter here. Yarn is going to matter there. This is what it means to increase. This is what it means to decrease. This is what it means to work a variety of different stitches and techniques into one project in a way to where my fabric looks uniform. So it's teaching you all of those things. So that was a super long answer, all to say that yes, this just like I said in the beginning, is this a learn how to crochet book? Yeah. But is this a skill building crochet book to where when you complete everything in this book, when you go through all the lessons, when you complete all 10 of these, you're going to be able to go out into the world of crochet and crochet whatever you want because you've got the knowledge and skill and ability to follow a pattern that you see with confidence. Okay, great question. Now I'm going to go on to my second question from Hillary Thompson. Hillary says, is this book suitable for teaching children to crochet? My 11-year-old daughter is interested, but I'm not the best teacher. Yes, my friend. Yes, yes, yes. Absolutely. So I've got a separate resource that I'll share. I'm going to link it. It's just some questions to determine at what age, I say that loosely, kids can learn crochet. Really, spoiler alert, there is no age. I don't think it's like, okay, age 8 and 6 months. There is no age. It's all about their willingness, not only to want to learn, but their willingness to want to practice. So there's some tips in there. So if you feel that a young person is ready, willing, interested to not only learn, but to practice crochet, yeah, this can absolutely be a fantastic resource. You can use this as a teaching resource because depending on their age, maybe you can help them with some of these things. Some of these concepts may feel like, if you've got an 11-year-old who just wants to learn to crochet, all people are different. They may pick this up and go, got it, no problems. But, a 15-year-old may pick this up and go, what? Just because we're all completely different learners. We learn things differently. We, process information differently. So Hillary Thompson, absolutely. If you want to learn how to teach crochet, this is your manual. Absolutely, my friend. And I would love it if you would teach your 11-year-old this book. Monica, so good to see you. Becky, your question was the first one that I saw and the first one that I answered. Thank you so much for posting that. That was such a great one. Dawn, this book would be great for a gift for the holidays. Yeah, this is a great gift for anyone that you know who maybe likes to learn new things, is crafty, wants to learn new things. Again, maybe they dabbled in crochet, maybe they crochet 1 or 2 things, maybe they just make blankets, maybe they just want to up their skills. Yes, this is an excellent gift for people who like to craft and who like to crochet. Let's see, Becky, I think this is the question that you already asked that I answered, but I'm still going to read it. Will this resource take a beginner to an intermediate level? My niece wants to learn. She is an expectant mommy. Yes, and I did answer that for you. Absolutely. This book will give you all of the knowledge and skill to move through the levels of crochet skill. And really the only reason I say this isn't, this won't get you, this doesn't include expert level. Expert level just kind of, it incorporates all of the things that you're going to learn in here. So whenever I say expert, an expert crochet pattern, expert crochet skills are, a great example would be something like crocheting a pineapple lace wedding dress and making it fit a very specific size. So that would be not only a great example of an expert level pattern, but also an expert level skill. And the reason I say it in that particular way is that you might crochet something at a particular level, but your work needs to look like I don't want to say the example, but your work needs to execute in a expert level. Because, let me give you guys an example. This bag right here, you might make this bag, but maybe it's 3 sizes too big and all of your stitches are completely different tensions. So this is not an expert level bag. This is an intermediate level bag. But if you used, let's say, okay, this is not a great example, but I'm trying to get you into the mind frame. You might be able to read the instructions for this, but the yarn for that, let's say it's a weight 3, and I used a hemp cotton yarn, and I used a hemp cotton yarn because it's going to be durable and flexible for this particular project. Let's say you can read and follow those instructions, and you do to a T follow the instructions, but let's say your material knowledge isn't at an intermediate level. Maybe you're like, I'm just going to use this, I don't know what yarn this is that I have on hand. Let's say you use alpaca yarn. Don't use alpaca yarn for that. It's too precious. It's for other thing. A weight 5 alpaca yarn, and you need 4 hanks of it. So you spend $190 and it turns out being twice as big as this bag. So that's a great example of you can follow instructions, but really it's the skill and the ability that you're going to get from resources like this that are going to help you pick the right tools and materials to make a thing that is going to work well and function well. So that was a very long answer. But hopefully that makes sense, because really, so many times, and myself included, I really genuinely thought, and that's what my intro was about, I've been crocheting for 20 years. I know what I'm doing. I didn't know what I was doing. I'm using all these examples about not choosing the right yarn and materials and not making the correct sizes and things like that, because I was really crocheting at like a beginner level, a very loose beginner level for a long time. And I just thought that, because my stitch tension was okay, that, and I could make a few things, that I was really good. But really just understanding what you have to know in terms of creating fabric, creating stitches, creating these projects, like all of that knowledge that I was lacking in techniques and skill and specialty stitches and things like that. Those things will unlock any crochet door for you. And I do include those in here. Darlene, hello. So good to see you. Stacy from Iowa's checking in. Angelica, my friend, so good to see you. Tina has some kind things to say. I love your work. I was going to order patterns off you with the 4th of July. I forgot. Well, if you guys are in my community group Selena Baca Crochet, I do try to host a sale there every single week, and that is where I release my newest patterns. I've got a new pattern coming up. Don't miss it. So I try to host some kind of sale every Wednesday or Friday. I like to keep it different and interesting. So if you've missed a sale in the past, definitely keep your eyes peeled for a future one. Angelica says, this is a great book. I've made most of the projects and it explains everything so well. I'm so glad that you think that. And with that being said, I just wanted to show you guys some of what this format looks like in this particular book. Here's all the sections on materials and yarns and what yarn barf is and what tools you should start out with and different styles of crochet hooks and different styles of yarn needles and all that. So, I mean, again, tons of information in there. Here's the whole beginning information on just learning stitches and working in rows. So many photo tutorials that really bring you through the process of what a slip knot is and how to do it. Whenever it comes to holding yarn and hook, what to do and how to do it, even for left-handed people. So great information and resources there. Here's a great example of one of the stitches, how to make a chain stitch. I am so visual, and for me, I really wanted every single action of every one of these stitches to be visual. So many times I feel that there's always, like with picture tutorials, it's like, I feel like I'm missing one or two things, like what's going on here? So, there are these very user-friendly, I try not to use crochet speak. I move into crochet speak later on, but I start with terms that I feel anyone can learn and follow. I feel like that's kind of another mistake in the crochet world is we start off the bat with these crochet terms and it's like, oh my gosh, I'm trying to not drown here. What do you mean? So really just kind of walking through every single step of the process so that you really understand what it means to make a stitch, to work that stitch up in a stitch diagram, to follow a pattern, to understand the stitch anatomy, how to count stitches from the front, from the back. I mean, all of those different things. So thanks, Angelica. I'm so glad you thought that this explained everything well. I just wanted to, give everybody a little example for what that meant. Darlene says, I do not believe anyone is an expert. We all have things to learn, but I've been crocheting over 50 years. No, I do believe lots of people are experts. I absolutely do. You can be an expert. There are certainly experts in every sense, in every field, in any field, particularly in crochet. I personally know a few people who are crochet experts. However, what I meant by when I said I don't view myself as an expert, and really I wrote it out here. My crochet journey was, again, I learned to crochet at the age of 5, and I learned by crocheting a granny square, and I learned a few stitches, and I would make blankets with them. And I just kind of repeated those things over and over again. I didn't know that there were crochet pattern books. This is before the internet. I didn't have any pattern books. I didn't have any patterns. I didn't know how to read patterns. So, fast forward, in my late 20s, I'm still crocheting the same things over and over and over again. And I learned different things from different people that opened my eyes to, here I was thinking, man, I'm an expert because I've been crocheting for 20 years. I know what I'm doing. I'm using my one crochet hook, no matter what yarn, things like that. And it wasn't until I learned that I didn't know what I didn't know, that it kind of, it made me rethink my knowledge and my skill and ability. My skill and ability was there. My knowledge wasn't there. And so that's what made me go, oh, you know what? I am not an expert. I'm on this journey to learn as much as I can. And being an expert is about knowledge and skill and ability. And so really I'm on a constant journey to expertise. Expertise is in every single thing that you do every single day, to where I'm on that path. I want to be on that path. And that's more so how I view myself and what this book is about. So yeah, you can be an expert, but it takes time and effort and knowledge and skill and ability. Am I on that path? Yeah, absolutely. Can I do everything at expert level? Mm-mm. Is that who I want to be and what I want to do with my life? No. So I am a hardcore intermediate level all day, every day. That's me, crocheter. Diana, so good to see you. Hillary says she's crafty, so I'm confident she could learn. I just need a little support when teaching her. I got your back. I'm here for you. And another thing about me and what I do and this particular book and the resources that I offer, and Hillary knows because Hillary's there, is that you're not just buying a book. You're investing in a resource that comes with a community. So come on over and join my community, either Selena Baca Crochet or the American Crochet Association. Both of those groups are a little different. We do different things, but in both of those places, education, particularly with this book and these resources and my patterns, is a welcome conversation. So Hillary, if you want to teach, anybody, if you guys want to teach, particularly if you're using this as a resource, you've got the backing of me and the community to help you along that way, or for you to just kind of share what that process and what you're doing. So if you need help and support and guidance, that's what it's all about. Stacy, is this for both right and left-handed crocheters? I tried to begin to teach my daughter who is left-handed and got completely confused. I'm so glad you asked, because I would have forgotten to say this. So there are differences in how we do things left-handed, how we do things right-handed, and crochet is no different. However, anything you do with your right hand in crochet, you can do with your left hand in crochet, as long as it is reversible. So if it's symmetrical from right to left as it is to from left to right, then it's reversible. So it's not just a right-handed pattern. So I am a right-handed person. That means my crochet hook is held in my right hand, my yarn is held in my left, and I work my stitches from right to left. If you were a left-handed person, you would hold your crochet hook in your left hand and you would work from left to right. And it would just mirror itself in that way. So what I did with this book is I wanted to make sure that this was a resource for right or left-handed people interchangeably. So in the beginning of this book, whenever I talk about how to hold your yarn and your hook, I do say this is what it looks like for left-handed, this is what it looks like for right-handed. All of the patterns in this book can be interchangeable. So a left-handed person can read and follow these instructions, and they don't have to interchange anything. They don't have to reverse order them in any way. So yes, this is a great resource. Hello, Lulu. Nice for you to be here. Thank you so much. Sherry, always so good to see you. Thank you for checking in. Lulu says, hey to everybody in the chat. I love it when you guys chat with each other and you know each other. Diana says, this is great for my library and to teach my grandchild when she is truly ready. Yes, absolutely. I'm so glad you agree, Lulu. Thank you so much. Cindy says, I would love your book. Lulu says, I am happy to come on today and find your Amazon link to your Amazon page. This is wonderful. I did not know you ever had one there. Yes, I have all of my books, all of my publications. You guys can get anywhere books are sold. Amazon is just one of them. So whenever I tell you guys about my books, I typically give you guys two links. One of them is to Amazon, one of them is to Ravelry. And the reason I do that is that on Ravelry, you guys can reach me. I do post all of my patterns from my books on Ravelry. You guys can also see other finished projects. They're all linked to all the individual projects. You can see all the projects in the book. You guys can get further information about those, and you can always reach out to me. So I love posting both of those links. Dana, I think Edie Ekman is an expert. Edie Ekman is absolutely a perfect example of a crochet expert. 100%. And again, expertise is about knowledge, skill, ability, execution. So not only does someone like Edie Ekman really, really have such a firm grasp and understanding for crochet knowledge and education, their work, what they can execute is expert level. And there isn't anything in crochet that someone like Edie Ekman, just because of their knowledge and skill and ability, there is nothing that Edie will do that will not look expert. So yes, that is a perfect example of someone who is an expert. And I'm not saying that like I won't ever be. I'm not saying that, but there are so many things in crochet that I just don't want to do, that I don't put my time and energy into. So I've really that's what I mean by I am happy, and I have pigeonholed myself into, I love the beginner level, I love the easy level, I love the intermediate level. I do not enjoy things that are expert level. I do not enjoy you know, complex, intricate, thread, non-repeating patterns. I have an appreciation for those. I do not have a desire to work in that capacity. So that's why it's like, am I an expert? Not in that sense. Not when we're going over the technical definitions of experts. But will I help you expertly work through the beginner, easy, and intermediate levels? You bet you. Let's see, Lulu, I feel we are all on the path to ascension, learning, and evolving all the time. It is a journey. Yes. The journey to being the best crocheter that you are, the journey, expertise is not really a destination, it's a journey, and it's something that you have to constantly do. That's a better way of putting it. And I think that's the way I put it in the book. That's the way I crafted it. So many friends here. Look at that. Everybody's saying hey to each other. Lulu says, that sounds awesome to have something so detailed to teach and learn from. Stacy, excellent. Thank you for this great resource. Christy, I would love to have this book. I'm fairly new to crocheting. All right, guys, that is all of the questions, comments, feedback that I see so far. So if you guys are still watching, I just wanted to remind everyone that I do have a giveaway. I'm going to randomly pick one of you guys from the comments to win a signed copy of this book in 24 hours after this live, okay? So all you guys have to do is drop a comment. You can say hey, you can say hello, tell me where you're viewing from, ask any questions about crochet, about learning to crochet, about this book. I'd be happy to answer them, whether I'm here live or on the replay. If you guys could do me a solid, all right? Tag someone who loves crochet. Maybe they already know how to crochet. They want to build some skills. This would be a great resource. Tag somebody who wants to learn how to crochet. Maybe you've got a really good friend and they watch you crochet and they're like, I wish I could learn. And you could be like, I'll teach you. Or here you go. Check this out. Do me one more favor too. If there's a place that you love crochet and you think they would enjoy having this resource, learning more about this, seeing that it's out there, if you could share this video in just one place that you enjoy crochet, if you think they'll enjoy it too, I would really, really appreciate that. So do those things. Like, comment, share, tag, all of that. I would really, really super love that. Diana, I'm getting it after the chat through Amazon. I'm super excited. Yeah, Amazon, they always have a really good price and the shipping is fantastic. So definitely click on that link in the video description to find it on Amazon. And when it gets in, I want to see some pictures, share some pictures in my community, if nowhere else. That would just make my day to see that. And as you're going through this book, as you're teaching yourself, building your skills, using it as a teaching resource, come on over. I've got 2 communities you guys can join to share that process, to share your process, to share your journey, to get help, support, guidance, feedback, anything. This is not just, you know, one resource. It's a community. It's an adventure. It's a lot more than that. Oh, thank you so much. Lou says would be happy to share it. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Angelica, yeah, I don't think I'm into becoming that kind of expert. Yeah, and that's why I feel like it's important to note. Like, I think it's important to outline these things, to identify these things. Like, you know, there are levels of crochet skill, and just understanding what those levels are and what it means to really perfect a level and move on to another level. I think that it's important to know that for ourselves. And that way, if you are interested in building your skills, it's there. You can see the pathway. And also, I don't want anyone to be stuck like I was. I was definitely stuck just kind of making the same blankets and the same granny square. I didn't know how to advance my skills. I didn't know there was anything else. So, you know, really, I don't want there to be limitations on the things that we can do. So when we have knowledge, we can build our skill. And that's what this is about. Lou, thank you. Thank you. Sherry, I'm still here. Sounds like a really great book. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Absolutely. Dawn already shared. Thank you so much. Lou says, that's awesome. Sherry says, I can't wait to get my hands on it. Yeah, this is an excellent excellent resource. Again, I talked more about who this is for. It's for everyone in the beginning of this video. So yeah, anybody who knows how to crochet, wants to learn to crochet, wants to teach crochet, this is for you. Honestly, it's a great manual. Christy, oh wow, that's awesome. I will spread the word. Please do. Thank you. Great for gifting. Yes, it is. Cindy says, I love your two communities. I'm so glad that you're in both of them. I find so much joy in them. I really work very hard to admin them in a way that keeps it about crochet and about crochet education. So it's a no nonsense place. I hope you really dig it. Dana says I will share it in my local crochet group in Gresham. Please do. I would love that. Thank you so much. Cindy says your book would aid me in teaching my niece. Yes, use it as a teaching resource. I'm telling you guys. Awesome, awesome resource. Diana says I would love to upload a picture of the book as soon as I receive it. Please do. I love when you guys share pictures like that. It just makes my day. Becky says today is Amazon Prime Day too. Is it? How did I miss that? I am such an Amazon shopper. I feel like they've been telling me about Amazon Prime Day for like 2 months now. So I guess in my mind, it's still kind of like, when is that? Is that here? It's now? I've been hearing about it for so long. All right, guys. So just wanted to, let's just kind of quickly go through the book. I just wanted to really quickly show you guys a few things. So for example, if you're interested in learning or teaching crochet, it's going to have resources like this. I think stitch anatomy and recognition is crucial. I mean, it's building blocks like this that are going to help you to build your knowledge and skill and ability to where you can make anything you want. It's questions like this to where, you know, as a person who writes patterns, I still get questions from, the only pattern questions I get from people are people who are like, I've been crocheting for 5 years, I've made everything, and I don't understand this pattern. And 9 times out of 10, it's because I'm like, are you using a stitch marker on the first stitch of the row? And they're like, I didn't know how to count my stitches, but because I've been crocheting the things I want to crochet my entire life or my entire crochet career, I didn't know what stitch anatomy and counting was. And I don't want, I mean, I certainly got super grouchy about stuff like that, and I didn't know what I didn't know. So it's little things like that that are going to really help build your crochet knowledge and skill. So every single stitch that you learn tells you how to count from the top, from the bottom, what counts as a stitch, where to put your stitch marker. What does it look like from the right side? What does it look like from the back side? I mean, every single step of the process, it goes through that. It also tells you, it also gives you a little bit of homework so you can really build your knowledge and skill whenever it comes to making those stitches. So, I mean, so much like very, very helpful information. For anybody who already knows how to crochet, but you're looking to build your skills, there are things in here like how to read a crochet pattern. It really breaks it down. How to read instructions, how to read a stitch chart. If you guys are like, I've always wanted to learn that, this is a gentle introduction for you. Every single pattern in this book comes with a stitch diagram. So you're going to learn how to read stitch diagrams in rows, in tubes, in rounds, with fancy stitch patterns, with complex stitch patterns, with intricate stitch patterns, with basic stitch patterns. You're going to learn it from the ground up. There's a whole section on pattern reading. So whenever you're looking at, oh my gosh, what do I read and how do I do it and blah, 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 it gives you every single resource you could possibly need to read and follow a crochet pattern. Abbreviations, how to work specialty stitches, what a specialty technique is, where to place your hook. There's the back post, there's the front post, there's the back loop, there's the front loop. How to read a diagram, what it looks like in rows, what it looks like in rounds, what the stitch key is, different kinds of techniques. So if you want some basic techniques like what to do with your yarn ends, what's the difference between sewing them in, what's the difference between weaving them in, how to change colors, how to make fringe, how to attach fringe. Oh my gosh, different tips on that. What is gauge? What is size? Tips on gauge and size. Whew. And then it gets into learning a ton of different stitches. I worked up a pattern for 10 different crochet stitches. So not only are you learning different stitches, but again, you're going to see them worked in charts just like this one. So that way you're reading and following a crochet stitch pattern, and you're reading and following and learning how to read a stitch diagram as well. Again, every single pattern is this way. Every single pattern, again, I already mentioned this, right and left-handed people can read and follow these. So it's not, yes, it's written by a right-handed person, but they are written in symmetrical ways to where you can follow it from right to left or left to right. So many different kinds of stitches that you can work up. You learn increasing, you learn decreasing, you learn those in a variety of different projects that are very practical. I'm very quickly going through this book. You learn intricate stitch patterns. You learn how to follow those intricate stitch patterns. You learn about gauge. You learn about size. You learn about yarn choice. Again, it's things like materials and yarn choice that are really going to help up your game when it comes to building your crochet skills. You learn how to work in tubes, what counts as a stitch, what doesn't, where to join, what's a slip stitch, how to count in tubes, different projects that are worked in tubes. Whew. So many different kinds of projects too. So yes, there's accessories, but there's accessories like making a backpack, making a cowl, making a scarf, how to work in a tube that's a continuous round. So every technique that I show in this book, working in rows, working in tubes that join, working in tubes that are continuous rounds, working in increasing rounds, every single time I show you step-by-step tutorial of what it is and how to do it. And then I immediately give you a pattern, and that way you can apply that technique in a project that gives you something useful. Every project in this book is like that. See, look at this. How to work in increasing joined rounds. Here's a stitch chart. Here's what it looks like, your step-by-step photo tutorial. And then here's a project. All right, let's work in joined rounds. Let's make this nifty placemat. Let's make a coaster. Let's make a motif and then join them together and make a blanket. So many different things. You want to learn how to work in increasing rounds that don't join, that are continuous. Here's a tutorial and here's some projects. And they're all very practical, no nonsense projects. These are great for basics and then building on those basics. So again, after you work through all the projects in this book, after you work through all these lessons, you're going to be able to read and follow and execute crochet patterns with such ease. You're going to be able to read and follow crochet patterns, and if there's a mistake or if something is missing or if it's not telling you something crucial to work that, you're going to be able to spot it like an expert. Whew! All right, guys. I really thought I was going to quickly just kind of get through this. It took me a lot longer than I thought I would. All right, so let's see who else is here and what you guys are saying. All right, Sherry, I will be recommending this to my students. Yeah, Sherry is also one of our beloved members at the American Crochet Association, has gone through extensively our crochet instructor training program. And so it really means a lot for me to hear Sherry say that. And Sherry would know when you're teaching something like crochet, sometimes you need more than one resource. So it would not be a bad idea to have something like this in conjunction with any other resource that you may have. So thank you for saying that, Sherry. Becky, building knowledge and skill for me has not increased my confidence, but I stay motivated to start the next project. I think it's just time. You know, I think that confidence comes with just the more time you put into something, the more things that you make. I think that's where it comes. And I'll say this too, as a person who writes patterns and makes things, sometimes the first time you make something, it's never the nicest. Like you're figuring out like these instructions and how to apply these instructions to make different things. So your first run is probably not going to be your best work, but your second, third, fourth, it's just only going to get better. So don't be down on yourself if your first project doesn't feel like your best work. You will absolutely get there just with more practice. Yep, Diana says, you got me at pattern reading. Yep, it doesn't matter if you know how to crochet or not. This book will teach you pattern reading. It will teach you it with knowledge, skill, and ability. Dana, I just realized I bought this book back in February in the Kindle version. It's fabulous. I'm so glad you think so. Thank you. Becky says, building knowledge and skill not only increases my confidence, but I'm motivated to start the next project. Yes, yes, yes. Elaine, so good to see you. Thank you. Elaine says, this is such a great resource. All right, and now the last comment that I see here is from Lulu. That sounds awesome, Dana. I saw it was available on the Kindle. I just shared on Facebook and community post. Thank you, guys. All right, guys, this is such a quick run through. Not quick. This is a speedy run through of this resource. It took me a year and a half to write this book. And this is based on 30 plus years of crochet experience, teaching dozens of people in person, one-on-one. And, you know, after I have taught people not only how to crochet online, but I've taught people how to teach crochet online, hundreds of people through the years. So it is based on all of that knowledge and experience. So if you guys just would like the best of my tips, this is it. All right, everybody, if you want a chance to win a signed copy of this book, you know what to do. As soon as I hit end on this, you guys have 24 hours to win a signed copy. Any comment counts, okay? I'm going to upload this video so that there are more resources in addition to this book for learning how to crochet. And if you guys have any questions, comments, feedback, keep me posted. I can't wait to hear what you guys say. All right, everybody. Peace, love, crochet. Thank you for being here. This has been fun. Hope you enjoy this. Tag a friend, share it. See you guys next time. Bye-bye.